Hey everyone, and welcome to this channel. Today we're going to talk about what AI actually is, because it seems that every other day there's some new story about AI taking over the world or making massive strides towards sentience or whatever. And I always feel like these stories don't really have much context, and just talking about AI in general doesn't really help anyone. So I wanted to make this video to sort of get us all on the same page with what exactly we're talking about when we say AI. The basic definition of AI is that it's software that can do things that would normally require human intelligence, and obviously that's quite broad. Let me give you an example. Say you run a hotel, and one of the things you need to do is look at all your customer reviews. And one of those reviews says, the TV didn't work, the AC didn't work, the Wi-Fi didn't work, the staff was rude, I will never come here again. What does that review mean? Obviously, the TV, AC, and Wi-Fi not working are bad things, but the last two sentences are also bad. Right, single quote. Right, single quote. The staff was rude is pretty subjective, and I will never come here again is an opinion and also a threat. But to the hotel, they both still convey that something went wrong and they should do something about it. So if you had a system that could read all your reviews and automatically flag the ones where something went wrong, that would be helpful. This system would need to understand language and determine whether the review is positive or negative, which requires human intelligence. So this system would be using AI. But you might say, hey, that's not that impressive. My microwave uses AI too. Well, yeah, this is true. Modern microwaves use AI to figure out how long you need to heat your food for based on its weight and type and the temperature you want it to reach and stuff. And this is actually really cool because it's very useful, but it's also not what most people think of as AI. It's basically just a bunch of math that happened really quickly in a chip while you make popcorn. Most people think of AI as being embodied in virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa and Google Assistant and stuff, but these virtual assistants aren't really AI either, at least not most of them. Like, yes, they can answer questions and play music and turn lights on and off and stuff, but that's because they were programmed to do those things. They're not using AI to figure out how to do those things. They're just doing exactly what they were told to do. So then what about ChatGPT, the AI that's sweeping the internet by storm? Is that AI? Well, yes, but only kind of. ChatGPT is a machine learning algorithm. That means that it's a mathematical formula that gets better at doing something based on data it's fed. You can think of it like a muscle. If you lift weights, your muscles get bigger and stronger. Well, in the same way, if you feed a machine learning algorithm lots of data, it gets better at using that data to do what you want it to do. For example, let us say you want to teach a machine learning algorithm how to tell if someone is happy or sad based on their facial expressions. You show the algorithm pictures of faces with corresponding labels saying whether the person is happy or sad. Then the algorithm looks at all the data and figures out a formula. Then after that, you can show the algorithm a new picture of a face and ask it, are they happy or sad? And hopefully it'll be able to tell you. Now, this is a very dumb example, but the same concept can be applied to much more complex tasks, like teaching a computer how to drive a car. If you show a computer vision algorithm millions of pictures of cars and teach it how to identify them, then it can identify cars in new pictures that it's never seen before. Or if you give it lots of data about how financial markets move, it can predict how they might move in the future. Or if you give it lots of text describing how to do literally anything, it can theoretically do that thing. This is what ChatGPT does. It's a machine learning algorithm that has been trained on so much text that it can generate new text that makes sense in many situations. But it's still not real AI. It's still just a math equation, albeit a very complex one. So then what is real AI? Well, no one really knows. There's no consensus on what exactly separates artificial intelligence from just really good software. Some people say that AI needs to be able to do any intellectual task that a human can do. Others say that it needs to be able to do things that humans can't do at all, like understand quantum mechanics or play StarCraft at Grandmaster level. Personally, I don't think that any of these definitions are particularly useful. All I can really offer is my opinion, and my opinion is that real AI would be software that can do things that humans can do, but also things that humans can't do, and can do things that humans can do better than humans, and things that humans can't do better than humans. Maybe that's not very helpful, but that's just how I feel. If I had to give you a non-answer an answer, I guess I would say that real AI would be a program that has consciousness or self-awareness, or maybe even just curiosity. Because right now, most programs don't really do anything that we would consider intelligent without being explicitly programmed to do it. They're not curious. They don't ask questions. They just do what they're told. In that sense, they're kind of like children. Children can be taught to do anything, and they can learn from their environment, and they can even have some understanding of the world around them. But they're still not considered to be intelligent. They lack consciousness. Maybe AI will eventually be able to replicate all of these things, but for now, it's still just software that can do things that we would normally need intelligence to do. And speaking of children, kids are pretty smart. Smarter than computers, for sure. But they're not yet experts at anything. To become an expert at something takes years of practice, which is a lot of time. Fortunately, there's a service that can help you save all that time. And now back to the video. The reason I find this topic interesting is because I think it's really important for us to understand what AI actually is and isn't, because there's a lot of hype surrounding it right now, but also a lot of fear. A lot of people are worried that AI is going to take over the world, and that's probably not going to happen anytime soon, if ever. The reason why is because although AI is good at doing certain things, it's not good at doing everything. For example, although ChatGPT is great at answering some questions, it totally fails at others. Sometimes it even says that it doesn't know the answer to a question when the answer is literally in the training data. Right now, there are three major problems with AI. First of all, AI is narrow. Even the smartest AI today can only do one or a small number of things. It can't play chess and operate a crane at the same time. Secondly, AI is brittle. Even though AI can be really smart, it can often be tricked by inputs that a person would easily be able to handle. For example, AI can be fooled into thinking that it's looking at a duck when it's actually looking at a computer mouse. Lastly, AI is biased because the data that it learns from is almost always biased. For example, if you train an AI to detect pneumonia from X-rays and you give it mostly pictures of white people, it might not be very good at detecting pneumonia in people with darker skin. So yeah, AI is really cool and it's improving quickly, but it's far from being able to take over the world. At least I hope it is. So I guess you're wondering when this technology will become sentient. I don't know. Will it ever? Who knows? But I do know that you can learn a lot by watching this channel. We have thousands of lessons on literally everything, all free and all interactive. On Brilliant, you get to actually apply what you're learning with interactive visualizations and follow-up questions. Brilliant has recently added a ton of AI-related courses from neural networks to natural language processing to computer memory and more, so check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.